from the video, please. Okay. Small Business Award winner of the year. Thank you. Small Business Award winner of the year is the Adventure Group with LaDonna Taylor. Please come. Charlton, please come to the stage.
He has been the master of ceremonies for years and years at the Chamber, and has been a large part of the annual dinner success.
I think recognizing people who do a lot for the community or for others is really essential, because often those people who are doing so much go unrecognized. And it's not only important to honor the person, but it's also important to say what the person has done and recognize them, because that person becomes an inspiration for others.
Actually, I think one of the interesting stories about Jack that many people don't know is the role that he played in bringing the mast of the USS West Virginia back to West Virginia. In 1959-60, Jack was the president of the NWU student body. At that time, the Navy had made the decision to decommission the battleship. They were going to scrap it in the state of Washington. A person who was a leader of one of the veterans organizations in Kaiser in Mineral County got in touch with Jack as the student body president and said that we should save the mast of the battleship and bring it back as a memorial. Jack was the person at West Virginia University that spearheaded the effort to bring it back. They were successful. They got it moved across country without any money, and it arrived on campus in 1961. And I think it was 1963 that the memorial class was dedicated.
He is one of the people who epitomizes the balance between community service and your business acumen. I mean, he is kind of everywhere, and also, pretty funny too. So.
One of the things I've always admired about Jack is that Jack is thinking about others at all times, particularly those who are really in circumstances of hardship. And Jack can be incredibly inspirational in talking about our obligation to those people who are struggling when we're not, and what we can do for them. And Jack is actually a role model for that. When we've had law students who really were in desperate straits, we could always go to Jack and ask him to help out. And to Jack's credit, he of course always wanted to remain anonymous. So many of those people whom Jack has helped over many years don't even know that it was Jack.
If we don't serve our communities, if we don't help make our communities in ways that get us attention in ways that don't, we don't have a community. I mean, a community is not the buildings, a community is not an institution, a community is not a chamber, a community is people. And people make a difference individually. And Dad's difference, he's made a difference over 5 decades of a career in ways large and small. And this award is a recognition of that, and I think it's very, very well deserved.
Everyone, please put your hands together for Forrest Jack Bowman.
because we get to honor him a little bit more.
Thank you, Darlene. Well, it is indeed my pleasure to introduce to you our roast master this evening. A man who needs no introduction, but I'll give one anyway. So, John Fahey, come on up, gentlemen, have a seat. John Fahey and I were attending a luncheon several weeks ago where Gordon was the keynote speaker. And there were two young women in front of us. They were in their mid-80s. And they were kibitzing about President Gee. And one lady said to the other, "My goodness, every time I see that fella, he's got a different bow tie on." And the other lady said, "Don't be too impressed." She said, "If you were president of as many universities as he is, you'd have a collection like that too." President Gee is a great guy with a great collection of bow ties. But we're very fortunate that he's much, much more than that. If you were to write a job description, perhaps a job announcement, or contact a headhunter, for the very best and most qualified university president in the world, there would be no one more qualified to be president of particularly a land-grant institution, but any university at any level, than Dr. Gordon Gee. Dr. Gee is a transformational leader. He is someone that makes an indelible imprint on every individual and organization that he comes into contact with. He's someone that motivates us to be better than we've ever been. We can follow his example of a genuineness that he brings to the table, and somebody who really cares about making the world a better place. It's an honor to watch him, to learn from him, and to hopefully emulate some of the great charisms that he carries with him on a daily basis. We are all fortunate to watch and be a part of the life of our leader at West Virginia University, Dr. Gordon Gee. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Frank. That's exactly the way I wrote that. Appreciate that very much. And I tell you something, if you want to emulate me, you've got very low aspirations. So we take that. So good evening, everyone. Oh, come on. Yeah, we're going to get through this thing fast because there's not much to say about Jack. But anyway, you know, of course, Jack is looking at her. He said, "Oh my gosh, this is the largest audience in the history of the chamber." Well, Jack, the only reason is it's colder than hell out there. No one else had any. So, but it's an absolute honor for me to be here. And first of all, let me just say congratulations to all the award winners. You know, it's been 30 plus years since I've had an opportunity to live in this community, and I will tell you, it's a real privilege to have been able to return. And it's a real privilege also to be able to live in a community that has such a vibrant feel about it. And so congratulations to all the winners except Jack. But saying that, Jack is my friend. He is my friend. Until maybe right now, he's a true legend of the West Virginia University College of Law, a true legend of the Morgantown community, and a true legend of the legal profession. We all know that. One of the great joys of being around Jack, of course, is because he's the only person around who's older than me, and so I take that. But actually, he has been the oldest person for about 30 or 40 years, however long, because his hair turned that lovely shade of white. I think he may have been born with that blinding head of hair. Jack is a guy with a trademark look, as you know. For instance, people quickly identify me with my glasses and bow tie. We just heard about that. You can spot Jack miles away and instantly recognize him from that snowy white hair and that neatly trimmed mustache. He looks as if Phil Donahue and Ted Turner procreated. But who am I to poke fun at appearances? I'm the cross between Orville Redenbacher and Lou Holtz, but anyway. Beyond our good looks, Jack and I have a lot in common. We share a love for the field of law. We do. We both have a profound admiration for Abraham Lincoln. I actually met him. Jack was with me, and we both go by our middle names. There's a reason for that. My first name is Elwood. if your parents named you Elwood, would you not go by by another name also, as a matter of fact? And Elwood, as I've learned, was derived from a place named after Elder Tree Forest in Old English. Jack's first name is Forrest. Our parents must have had a thing for trees. Actually, Jack maybe should have gone by Forrest because oftentimes the students were befuddled by the lectures as if they were lost in his forest. I remember my first meeting with Jack in 1979. For those of you who are trying to crunch the numbers, that was 36 years ago, Jack. He's sitting there, didn't have enough fingers and toes. But we started on the same day. I came from Utah and was named Dean of the West Virginia University College of Law. I did not think West Virginians, of course, allowed Mormons into the state back then. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it very quickly. My first time, my friend John Fisher is here, and John was with me. We were down at the Green Bar at the West Virginia Bar Foundation, and I was being introduced as the new dean of the law school, and the acting dean of the law school was a guy by the name of Henry Collins, Porky Collins, as he was affectionately called. And Porky got up and started reading my resume. And finally, he said, "Oh hell," he said, "I don't know anything about this young man. All I know is he doesn't smoke and he doesn't drink. He's a Mormon. That means watch your women." So anyway, that was my introduction. Of course, growing up in Utah, I'd never seen a non-Mormon or a Democrat. But anyway, meanwhile, Jack began his storied career as a law professor. A few years later, I passed very often in different directions. My professional life took me, of course, all over the country and into the wilderness for about 30 years. But I did find my way back to Morgantown and saw that Jack was still hanging around. Same white hair, same white mustache. I guess he just wasn't smart enough to move. Heck, I have had more jobs than the number of times the PRT has broken down. So Jack stayed here and had one job, teaching a bunch of overprivileged law students about wills, trusts, contracts, and professional responsibility. He did that for 23 years. Now, Jack, my friend, I know I've made several jabs at the color of your hair, but it is truly remarkable that you have any left. As a matter of fact, I must tip my hat to Jack. It takes a wholesome heart and a wealth of devotion to accomplish what he did over the years for West Virginia University and certainly for this community, and we've heard about that. His longevity speaks volumes. It is not often you find a place that will put up with a lawyer for that long. Every place I went, from Brown to Ohio State, they ran me out of town, Jack, so barely ahead of the sheriff. Jack made his impact here where it mattered most. He is truly deserving of this award and all of the other honors bestowed upon him throughout the decades. His career is literally full of triumphs, highlighted by a desire to help others. This is the embodiment, in my view, and what I think is so special about this place, of a true West Virginian and a true mountaineer. A native of Petersburg, Jack enrolled at West Virginia University as a student in 1956. He served as president of the freshman class and was later elected student body president. In fact, I found an old picture of Jack. Now, I wish it could have shown up, but we didn't get it in time. But this is a lovely picture. This is Jack. I'll let everyone take a look at it. Jack riding in the back of the car in the 1961 homecoming parade. Like a typical lawyer, he's making someone else drive him around. The photo also disproves my theory that Jack was born with white hair, but who knows? That could be one heck of a dye job. And after graduating from the College of Law in 1963, Jack served 4 years in the United States Army. He went on to practice law in Charleston, and in 1974 was named the first administrative director of the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals. As I stated before, he joined the College of Law faculty in 1979, and the rest, of course, is absolute history. 7 graduating classes named him Professor of the Year. That means the other 16 graduating classes didn't think very much of you, right? I just had to put that one in. Jack's impact is so widespread that those on the outside of academia recognize his efforts as well. On 3 occasions, he was awarded the highest honor the State Bar can bestow upon a member, the West Virginia State Bar Certificate of Merit. Speaking of the bar, I just have to do this, you know I'm a lawyer. What do you call a smiling, courteous person at the Bar Association convention? The caterer. Hold tight, I have more. What's the difference between a lawyer and God? God does not think he is a lawyer. Okay, we can find a guy change the light bulb? Well, you need 250 just to lobby for the research grant. Okay, so that's Here's a story submitted by our good friend at the College of Law, Professor Chuck DeSalvo. I just love the story. Chuck did not know any better and came here at the same time that we came, Jack, as a matter of fact. The year is 2005. Chuck just completed a long, difficult, and expensive research mission to India. He took lots of terrific pictures. Somehow on the way home, his camera was either lost or stolen. Chuck ended up submitting a rather large travel expense to the university. Shortly after submitting the bill, he was notified by a university official that the new travel reimbursement policy now required photographic proof of international trips. That meant zero reimbursement for Chuck. He thought to himself, photographs? This is insane. This is unreasonable. This is unjust. Then he figured it out. Jack Bowman pulled one over on him. So fast forward to a day or two before Jack's retirement, and Chuck realized that it is now or never for evening that particular score. At night, under the cover of darkness, and with the use of furtively obtained master key, Chuck and some of his partners in crime switched the contents of Jack's office, a veritable kingdom of right orders, you can imagine, with the contents of the men's room down the hall. They took everything of Jack's and recreated his office in the bathroom. They managed to relocate and organize his office chair, guest chair, law books, bookshelves, phone, clock, lamp, rug, tape dispenser, stapler, paperwork, and wall hangings into a neatly set up office in the bathroom, all ready for the day's work. They even took his nameplate off his office door and put it on his new office door, along with an elegantly designed sign that read, 2 stalls, no waiting. Chuck and his company would not leave Jack's original office completely empty, so when Jack came in the next morning, they made sure they worked around to reap the fruits of their labor by observing Jack's reaction. He was not pleased. In fact, he probably thought that they went too far when he noticed that they replaced his executive chair and his desk with the toilet. Well, Jack, I hate to tell you this, but I went to the bathroom earlier, and I think they did it again. Anyway, Jack, you are a remarkable sport, letting all of us do a little bit of this. The only reason we can do it is the fact that you're worthy of much greater recognition. We're all blessed to have you in our lives, and congratulate you on this most recent honor. I certainly do.